In a bustling town nestled between emerald hills and azure rivers, two men stood at the precipice of their futures, both endowed with identical fortunes. They were childhood friends, bound by a shared history of laughter and dreams, yet their visions diverged sharply as they stepped into adulthood. Jonathan, with his striking blue eyes and a penchant for the finer things in life, envisioned a world of opulence. He had always been captivated by the allure of luxury and the status it commanded. With his newfound wealth, Jonathan set his sights on a lavish mansion that would not only serve as a home, but also as a testament to his success. He imagined grand soirees filled with laughter and music, where the elite would gather to admire his taste and wealth. The mansion, a sprawling estate with marble columns and gilded fixtures, was a physical manifestation of his aspirations. On the other hand, there was Samuel, whose thoughtful brown eyes reflected a more pragmatic approach to life. He had a keen interest in finance and a head for numbers, and he saw potential where others saw mere fortune. While Jonathan's dreams revolved around the extravagance of his mansion, Samuel envisioned a future built on stability and growth. He decided to invest his wealth in founding a banking business, one that would not only secure his financial future, but also provide opportunities for others in the community. Samuel believed that true success was not measured by the size of one's home, but by the impact one could make. As the years rolled on, Jonathan's mansion became a gilded cage. At first, it was everything he had dreamed of: lavish parties, extravagant decorations, and an endless stream of guests who marveled at his lifestyle. However, the reality of maintaining such a grand estate soon set in. The upkeep was staggering. The gardens required constant attention, the staff needed salaries, and the taxes on the property were a heavy burden. What had once been a symbol of success became a source of stress and anxiety. Instead of enjoying the fruits of his labor, Jonathan found himself preoccupied with bills and repairs, his dreams of luxury morphing into a never-ending cycle of obligations. Meanwhile, Samuel's banking business flourished. He started small, with just a handful of clients, but his reputation for integrity and wise counsel quickly spread. He offered loans to local businesses, helping them thrive, and in turn, his bank grew. Samuel understood the importance of reinvesting profits and expanding services. He introduced innovative financial products and embraced technology, allowing his bank to reach clients far beyond the town's borders. As his business thrived, Samuel remained grounded, always remembering the importance of community and the people who had supported him along the way. Years passed, and the paths of these two men became increasingly divergent. Jonathan, once the toast of the town, found himself increasingly isolated. The lavish parties dwindled as the costs became unsustainable. Friends who had reveled in his wealth began to drift away, and the mansion, once a hub of activity, echoed with silence. His dreams had become a burden, and he was trapped in a cycle of debt that seemed insurmountable. The lavish lifestyle he had so eagerly pursued had turned into a relentless chase for money to maintain his status, leaving him exhausted and disillusioned. In stark contrast, Samuel's bank expanded into a multinational enterprise. He opened branches in various cities, each one a testament to his strategic foresight and dedication. His wealth grew, but so did his sense of responsibility. He began initiatives to support local charities, investing in education and healthcare. With every success, he felt a deeper connection to the community that had nurtured him. Samuel's fortune became a tool for positive change, and he found fulfillment in knowing that his success was intertwined with the prosperity of others. As time went on, Jonathan's financial situation deteriorated to the point where he had to sell parts of his estate. The once proud mansion, now a shadow of its former self, became a symbol of lost dreams. He struggled to make ends meet, and the burden of his choices weighed heavily on him. The lavish lifestyle he had once embraced now felt like a haunting memory, a reminder of the man he had aspired to be. He often found himself wandering the empty halls of his home, reminiscing about the laughter that had once filled the space, feeling the walls closing in around him. In contrast, Samuel was now a well-respected figure in the world of finance. He had earned accolades for his contributions to the banking industry and was invited to speak at conferences around the globe. His insights on financial literacy and community investment resonated with many, and he became a mentor to aspiring entrepreneurs. Samuel's life was rich, not with material possessions alone, but with experiences, relationships, and a sense of purpose that Jonathan could only envy. He had built a legacy that would endure, one that would benefit generations to come. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the town, Jonathan found himself wandering the streets, lost in thought. He passed by a community center that Samuel had helped fund, where children played and laughter echoed. A pang of regret struck him as he watched families gather, their joy a stark contrast to the emptiness he felt within. He realized that while he had pursued wealth, Samuel had pursued something far more valuable: connection, purpose, and the opportunity to uplift others. Driven by a mixture of nostalgia and desperation, Jonathan decided to reach out to Samuel. It had been years since they had spoken, and he feared the conversation would be awkward, perhaps even painful. Yet he craved the companionship of his old friend, someone who might understand the depths of his struggles. He sent a message, tentatively asking if they could meet. To his surprise, Samuel responded with warmth and openness. They agreed to meet at a quaint cafe, a place where they had shared countless conversations in their youth. As Jonathan approached the cafe, his heart raced with anticipation and trepidation. He spotted Samuel sitting at a table, a welcoming smile on his face, and for a moment, the years melted away. They exchanged pleasantries, and Jonathan could feel the weight of his own failures pressing down on him. He spoke of the mansion, the burdens it had brought, and the isolation he felt. Samuel listened intently, his expression one of empathy rather than judgment. When Jonathan finished, he looked down at his hands, ashamed of his choices. "Jonathan," Samuel began, his voice steady and kind, "I admire your courage to reach out. Life can take unexpected turns, and sometimes we find ourselves in places we never imagined. But it's never too late to change course." Jonathan looked up, his eyes filled with a mix of hope and skepticism. "But how? I've lost so much. I feel like I've squandered my chance." "You still have the ability to shape your future," Samuel replied. "It's not about how much you have. It's about how you use what you have. You can start small, perhaps by sharing your story and helping others who might be struggling like you. You've experienced the pitfalls of chasing status. Your insights could be invaluable." As they talked, Jonathan felt a flicker of inspiration reignite within him. Samuel's words resonated deeply, and he began to see a path forward, one that didn't rely on the trappings of luxury, but on meaningful connections and contributions. They spent hours reminiscing, sharing laughter and stories, and Jonathan realized how much he had missed their friendship. In the weeks that followed, Jonathan began to take small steps toward rebuilding his life. Inspired by Samuel's example, he sought ways to get involved in the community. He started volunteering at the very center he had once passed by, sharing his experiences with young people who were eager to learn about financial responsibility and the importance of making wise choices. His story became a cautionary tale, one that resonated with many, and he found a renewed sense of purpose in helping others avoid the pitfalls he had encountered. As he immersed himself in this new chapter, Jonathan discovered the joy of connection that he had longed for. He formed friendships within the community, and the laughter that had once echoed through his mansion began to return, albeit in a different form. He found fulfillment in the relationships he built, realizing that true wealth was not measured by material possessions, but by the impact one could have on the lives of others. Meanwhile, Samuel continued to thrive, his banking business expanding further. He remained a steadfast friend to Jonathan, offering support and guidance as Jonathan navigated his new path. Their bond deepened, rooted in shared experiences and mutual respect. Samuel admired Jonathan's resilience and the way he transformed his struggles into a source of strength. Years passed, and the two men found themselves at a crossroads once again. Samuel had been approached by investors interested in expanding his banking business into new markets. The opportunity was substantial, promising further growth and success. However, Samuel hesitated. He had built his business on the principle of community, and he worried that expanding too quickly might compromise the values he held dear. Jonathan, now a trusted advisor and friend, sensed Samuel's internal conflict. "What matters most to you, Samuel?" he asked one evening as they sat on a park bench, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. Samuel pondered the question, his brow furrowed. "I want to grow, but I don't want to lose sight of the people who have supported me. My success has always been about more than just profit. It's about making a difference."